Chapter 741. It was crowded at the top of Fuji Mountain. There were over 1,000 people gathering to watch the battle of the 5 major families. The 4 major families purposely announced that Yumi invited someone from Dasha to interfere with their family business, and she killed her brothers. That successfully enraged the people. They believed that some guy from Dasha had no right to interfere with the battle of the 5 major families in Karatopia. They thought of him as a lowly and inferior race who should not interfere with the affairs of the 5 major families. They wanted to see that Dasaha scum obliterated by the shadow-level cultivators, and they wanted to watch the fall of the gardeners. It was extremely despicable of the gardeners to rely on a Dasha scum. They felt insulted, so the gardeners should not be forgiven. The 4 shadow-level beings sat on the mountaintop. Beneath them were thrones formed by spiritual energy. They were emitting a powerful spiritual pressure that amazed the people. Behind them were the elites of their families. Each and every one of them were ambience-level cultivators who stood in line. They exuded authoritative power. Further away were cultivators who came to watch. There were over 1,000 of them. The cultivators felt very excited at that moment. The 5 shadow-level experts represented the most powerful cultivators in Karatopia. They were godlike, and the idols of all the cultivators and cherry gladiators. However, the 5 shadow-level experts had their numbers reduced by 1. Kane Gardner went crazy, and he died abruptly. He tried to usurp divine power. They assumed the Dasha scum seized the opportunity to plot with Yumi, and thus killed Cyrus Gardner and Yaren Gardner, so they could be in control of the family. They felt like any of the shadow-level experts could kill that Dasha scum with their bare hands. Yumi was a woman, so there was nothing she could even do even if she was a saint-level cultivator. The shadow-level experts were far superior to a saint-level cultivator. Her death was fated. The gardeners were fated for destruction. The people discussed the despicable acts of the gardeners, and they called out the names of the 4 shadow-level experts. The crowd was in high spirits. They felt like they were about to witness a historical moment, the fall of a once powerful family. Yumi led around 10 experts to the mountain and continued onward. Yumi wore a traditional outfit as though she was going to attend a feast. She looked determined. The gardener experts stayed silent. They followed Yumi closely and proceeded toward the mountaintop. Everyone knew that the moment that decided the fate of the gardeners was happening. They had all their hopes on Wilbur. According to the newly appointed leader, Wilbur was at Fuji Mountain. They could not believe his reason was because he wanted to enjoy the view of Fuji Mountain. Fuji Mountain was considered a famous tourist attraction, but they could not believe he was in the mood to enjoy the view. Most people could not understand it. Wilbur was indeed on a trip, and he felt like he might as well enjoy the view. It would be a waste to not seize the opportunity. He followed the travelers and slowly climbed the stone steps. He looked across the mountain and enjoyed its majestic view. Suddenly, he heard a voice. "You again?" Wilbur looked back and saw Seth Wilson with the guy in a hat, 2 ladies, and a man he did not recognize. Wilbur had to shake his head. What a small freaking world, he thought. "Dude, I'm talking to you," said Seth while glaring. Wilbur frowned and said, "Spit it out, you motherfucker." Seth was instantly furious. He could not believe Wilbur behaved the same way as he did when he humiliated him at the airport back then. "Seamus, you're from the Zions, one of the 5 major families in Karatopia, right? Teach this guy a lesson for me. I can sign our contract right away," said Seth coldly to the guy next to him.